Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to be doing a review on Cat Barbell's basic level squat rack, barbell, and their rubber bumper plates. Going to the gym has been a little challenging for me as of late. The commute experience itself, having to work around my wife's work schedule, raising my daughter, and even dealing with the challenges that come with going to the gym. They all take up energy and time, and that usually means a trade-off between doing the things that I want to do or have to do, and of course, juggling with time. So several months ago, I did a ton of research on Amazon and ended up purchasing this squat rack, barbell, and rubber plates to help me manage my time and energy more effectively while still working towards my fitness goals. With the recent sales and deals going on, I figured I'd do my part, a good deed, if you will, in sharing my thoughts behind this fitness equipment. Because let's face it, some of these things can be pricey and even risky. A picture can only do so much, you know? And let's not forget the potential hassle you will face when trying to return something that just doesn't deliver. Given the many conflicting reviews out there, I was hesitant on buying these products off of Amazon. I took the risk though, and I believe that this video can help you decide as to whether or not these are right for you. So here's how it's going to be broken down. There are 3 items to discuss: the squat rack, barbell, and the rubber bumper plates. Each item discussed will include my thoughts, pros and cons, and finally, my overall rating. And now let's start off with the squat rack. This squat rack is Cat Barbell's FM905Q. Beginning with the packaging and unboxing experience, I was very fortunate to have received everything in good condition. Some people have mentioned unfortunate experiences, but it seems like they are stepping up their shipping process. As you can see, here are all the parts and tools they provide to set up your squat rack. I have found the assembly process to be fairly straightforward. It took me, someone who is completely new to this, about an hour to put together. There are a lot of pieces that have a sequence for installation, so do pay attention to the images and instructions provided to you in the manual. You're going to need some basic tools such as a wrench or pliers to help you hold onto the bolts as you secure them. I think this is a con because I can't see any other way of installing this rack without it. Now, I did use a drill driver to help speed up the process, but if you choose to use this tool, do use caution. We are using low to mid-grade quality screws and bolts here. Too much power and tension, and you may end up damaging it. One last con here is that some of the holes provided to screw in were a bit rigid. I had to play around with it before I was able to smoothly screw it in evenly. The final comment on the assembling is more of a tip. To ensure that your squat rack is secured and stable, place special attention to the bottom and mid-center joints. They can be tricky to secure correctly, and you won't really know that it is until you start pressure testing it. For me, at first, it was a bit wobbly, but after noticing this and tightening it up aggressively, it was fixed. This squat rack, fully assembled with nothing on it except the J-hooks mounted, weighs about 60 pounds. The height of this rack is approximately 85.25 inches. The length is 45.5 inches and width is 47 inches. Finally, let's discuss the bare functionality of this squat rack. For some context, I weigh about 195 pounds and I'm 5'10". Mounting on the bar is easy and I don't have to jump or step up on a platform. Fully hanging, my knees have to be bent in order to keep my feet off the ground. Without fully loading this squat rack, I will say that it feels tolerable. Not 100% solid though, meaning I would not suggest kipping nor doing any tricks with this bar. Additionally, using bands and TRX suspensions are okay, but depending on your angle and load, you might tip the squat rack over. Now, they do offer drill holes to secure this rack to the ground, but I don't have that option available to me given where I live. Instead, I just load up the rack with weights for that added stability. When you load this rack with a bar and several heavy plates on this stacker right here, then doing pull-ups or using TRX suspensions will feel slightly more stable. Now that we've covered the bare functionality of this squat rack, let's move on to the barbell itself. Cat Barbell offers several barbells. The one I ended up with is called the Boss. This bar weighs approximately 45 pounds or 20 kg. It is roughly 85 inches long and the grip's thickness is approximately 1.12 inches or 28.5 millimeters. It's not like those thick bars you see in the gym. These fit really well around my hands and are perfect for Olympic lifting and your basic compound lifts. The grip, or knurling, is also rigid and solid. Like if you have sweaty palms, the bar won't be going anywhere. However, there is one minor issue. When doing an exercise like the bench press, the bar tends to roll. I can't really describe it, but as you can see here, me doing the bench press, my wrist sometimes jerks. So be careful when setting up on the bench so you don't slip on your force production. Look, this barbell isn't some generic bar. It's pretty legit. It has 132,000 tensile strength, which isn't the strongest out there, but it is very strong and does a great job for most of your heavy lifts. If you're tossing around 800 plus pounds, then yeah, probably not this bar. Shoot for a bar that's like 190,000 PSI or higher. Lastly, it's black. Honestly, that's one of the primary reasons why I chose this one. Now, of course, there isn't much else to say here. However, I will say that the package did come in pretty jacked up and scratched on the edge of my bar. I really wasn't happy about that. By the way, I recommend you guys get clamps for this barbell because as you're working out, sometimes the weights can easily slide off. Finally, moving on to the rubber-coated bumper plates. I'm just gonna say this one pro. They do the job and are pretty accurate with the weight description. I ordered the 235-pound set, which included two 45s, two 35s, two 25s, and two 10s. Unfortunately, the shipping experience, however, was not all that great. They did arrive in pairs, but not at the same time, and they each took a while to arrive, and there was no way to track it either. Lastly, the plates themselves arrived with this oily chemical all over it. The smell was bad, and I was afraid it could be harmful to inhale its fumes or to even touch it. I had to clean each of them several times with soapy water to remove as much of it as possible. Alright, so we covered each of the three items. Now let's discuss it as a whole. As I mentioned earlier, this squat rack performs best when loaded with a bar and with weights on the stacker or perhaps drilled into the deck. Now, because I'm a little heavier and more experienced as a lifter, I decided to get these side mounting plate holders that CONT Barbell sells for $30. And they do a phenomenal job stabilizing the squat rack and organizing my space. This is a great investment if you are considering this squat rack and would like stability, a clean workspace, and would rather not have to drill into your deck. Now, on the same token, I find this to be a con, because if I wasn't thorough in my search online, I would have never known of its existence. Perhaps if CONT Barbell had included it in a bundle, then that would have been helpful. Last comment here is that if you do end up getting these, keep in mind that the weighted plates you mount on here may interfere with some of the exercise performed, so place them wisely. And now, the obvious question. Can these little frail looking J-hooks hold my loads? So far, yeah, they're doing pretty good actually. I gotta admit, they don't look all that capable, but they hold most of my loads in the ranges of 225 to 365 pounds, no problem. Though do keep in mind that I like to train with respect. I don't slam the bar on the J-hooks, nor do I drop the weights on the ground. I do like what I have, and I strive to take care of my gear because my gear takes care of me. So that may be why they are lasting me. Now, as I regain my strength and go heavier, I might need to get a stronger pair of J-hooks or just a sturdier squat rack altogether because according to the website, these hooks can only hold up to a max load of 300 pounds. But me being me, you know I'm gonna test the limits. With all that being said, this squat rack, barbell, and rubber bumper plates all perform really well for an entry to intermediate level home gym setup. The total potential cost of this investment is roughly $840. As I said in the beginning, these products do go on sale fairly often and are totally worth it if you're like me, pressed for time and you just want it all done from home. I know it may seem like a large lump sum payment, but consider this. You could be spending $70 a month on a gym membership, deal with traffic, use up your gas or battery, take away your valuable time, and risk the buildup of meaningless stress. Or spend that $840 in monthly installments using your own equipment, clean and readily available for you, no need to leave your home and deal with traffic or parking, and ultimately being more efficient with how you use your inner resources. Stress is a valuable thing. As some of you already know, my philosophy is always to push those boundaries and to test your inner iron. However, most of the time, many people just don't know how to self-regulate or understand the process that's happening within. And that's why I've decided to make this investment to help me find a better way to manage my time and energy more effectively, so therefore I can improve my mental and physical performances. So in rating these three as a whole from a scale of 1 to 5, I'm going to give this a 4.25. That's all for this video. Thanks so much for watching and supporting this channel. I really hope it was helpful. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, but till then, train intentionally with maximum effort and be one with the iron.